On today's Warehouse Safety Tips Wednesday, we'll be covering the pros and cons of consistency, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. The great Benjamin Franklin is quoted as saying, "Energy and persistence conquer all things." There are two components to that statement, energy and persistence. Let's break them down individually. Simply stated, energy is action. Many times you'll hear people say knowledge is power, but it's really only half true. Knowledge is only powerful when applied. And what is the application of something? Action or energy. Persistence can be likened to consistency. But are persistence and consistency always a good thing? The answer is no. Compounding on something can actually be positive and negative. In his book, The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson states, "It doesn't seem to make a difference at the time, but compounded by time makes all the difference in the world. It being a slight discipline or a slight error in judgment." As it applies to safety, what would you rather do? Look at that machine that has an obvious need, lubrication, a safety guard that needs replaced, or just maintenance in general, and say it should make it another day? Or would you rather embark on an unending quest to find and fix every potential safety issue you can find? Now, because you're listening to this podcast, we know which one you're going to choose because you're an action taker. Compounding money will make you rich, but compounding safety pays awesome dividends too. Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and/or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.